Guys, so today I wanted to do some desensitizing work. I left this junk saddle's girth off, and as you can see, had it fall off to see if he would react much. Most horses would, but mostly because of his demeanor and maybe a little bit because I was nice and relaxed and calm, he could care less. So another thing he's been doing lately is kind of moving a little bit as I try and mount, which is typical. Horses move away from pressure, and there is pressure on their backs and sides as you're mounting. So I wanted to work on having him stand still nicely. So I make sure my reins are taut and gather especially the outside right rein more. So if he does try and swing that hip away from me, then I can gather a little bit more tension on the right rein, which in essence would send his nose to the right, which in turn sends his hip to the left, keeping him close to me. So as soon as he stood there nicely, I dismounted, gave him a little break, and now I'm going to try again. You can see there, he went kind of towards my pocket. I never want to get bit or nipped, so I made sure to keep him away from my hip there. So once I'm on, I work on his patience, having him stand there nicely. And I move around a little bit on his back, but we're just working on patience. Many horses get in the habit of moving as you're trying to mount, which can be dangerous and also super annoying. So I always try and pause and take a second to just have them relax as you first mount. So today I'm working in an open field. I'm extending the duration of our work session just a tad longer. Not so much to make him not enjoy our sessions, but I am working on extending the duration of his attention span and his work ethic and his endurance just a little bit. So I decided to continue today at the trot. I'm not going to work on canter. I'm just going to work on straight lines, which is often hard to do, especially for these young ones in an open field, because they don't have a line of reference to guide them, and they're just now starting to learn how to yield from your legs and from the bit pressure. But he's doing really well. As you can see, when I first started trotting, he was just a scotch fast, and I know that the prospective buyer of this horse would like nice, gentle, smooth, easy, slow transitions. So I decided to work on those transitions from walk to trot just a little bit more. And also typical of horses when you're first starting them, he's a little bit resistant of the bit. So I'm trying to soften his neck, soften his mouth just a little bit. And you can see right there he yields nicely. And that does a couple things. He's one, receptive to the bit and not resisting against it, which you can see when he holds his head high like that. He's resisting, but just there where he dipped his nose in, he's nice and receptive. So I whoa him, give him a little pet, and then we're going to try the other direction. But rounding his crest of the neck, it does a couple things. It builds up his abdominal strength and also his back strength, and has you work in sync with the horse just a little bit better. And thanks to my lunatic dog, this horse is definitely dog-proof. He's very well desensitized now to dogs and cats running right up under his legs, and he could care less. Whereas most horses would freak out about stuff like that, but I'm trying to put this horse through the ringer in a controlled, healthy, happy fashion. And what I work on next is downward transitions from the trot to the walk and then the halt. With minimal effort on my part, I want him to start to pay attention to my voice and my body language. So rather than pulling on those reins, which pulls on the bit and could toughen the horse's mouth up, which could cause him at this point in the game, could cause him to become a little bit desensitized to what bit pressure means. I'd rather him always look to me for guidance and feel my body language, listen to my voice. So what I do is just decompress. Whenever I want to do a downward transition, I breathe out audibly so he can hear, and then sit heavy in the saddle, really stretching those heels down. And there hasn't been a whole lot of horses that don't pick up that cue and they do a downward transition from trot to walk to halt. So that's what I'm trying to work on, is having him really pay attention to me, especially in the downward transition. So just when he hears a breath out, then he comes back down to the halt. So here I just want him to work a little bit on the head down command, again softening at the pole. So my hand is right at the pole or the bridle path, and I just worry it a little bit, kind kind of shift his neck to the right and left with gentle pressure downward. I'd rather do it with a halter, but I had the bridle on here. So as soon as he gives any effort to try and put that nose down, then I release all the pressure and say, good boy. And then I do it again and again. Not too much, but I do want him to start to learn what that head down cue means. So I worked on this today. I imagine when I go the next time, it's going to be even better. So I want him to learn whenever my hand goes up towards his bridle path that he puts his nose down and he keeps it down. So I believe what I'm going to do next is work on mounting and dismounting again. I mount from the wrong side, the off side. Make sure he stands still, which was better than it was in the beginning. And then I get off all crazy like, just to make sure he's not spooked at anything strange. If a rider is getting on or getting off and happens to tap them, or they're not quite as agile. So what I do next is mount, and you see he's kind of trying to back away. That's probably him telling me, I thought we already worked out, I don't want to do it again. So again, I do the same thing I did in the beginning, grabbing that outside right rein, have him stand, and then I want to tap him on the rump, because sometimes that can happen. When riders get on, they can sometimes make mistakes and tap the horse all over, and I want to make sure he's going to be a good boy and not freak out if/when that happens. So I don't know what session we're on, but he was a good boy.